Hello everyone, my name is Chase and I'll be telling you about how 3D printing can benefit our country's schools. During this presentation I'll be telling you about the history of 3D printing, the potential of 3D printing in the classroom, the cost of and funding for 3D printing, and finally I'll answer the question of why we should invest in 3D printing. 3D printing was first invented in the late 70s but the first 3D printer was created by Chuck Hull in 1983. Since their creation, 3D printers have evolved over the years from simple machines that were inept at creating small details into machines that have accuracy of up to 1/100th of a millimeter. Many people, including major corporations, are already using 3D printers for a multitude of tasks, such as to manufacture parts and tools. These companies include General Electric, Boeing, Ford, Nike, Hershey, and Hasbro. Potential 3D printing in the classroom. 3D printing can be used for hands-on learning, problem solving, and art projects, and as an alternative to field trips. There are many scenarios where 3D printing would be useful for the students to learn with. How about this scenario? A teacher tasks her students with finding a solution to a flooding problem and tells them to create a prototype of it. The students use the 3D printer to create their prototypes and presents them to the teacher for grading. Sounds great, huh? The students get to learn about engineering whilst being engaged and interested. If you didn't love that idea, then you'll love this one. The students at a local school have been looking forward to going on a field trip to the museum for a long time, but the school can't afford it. So in an effort to save money, they decide to create replicas of the artifacts in the museum and use the replicas to teach lessons at school. Great idea, right? The school gets to save money and the students still get to learn the same amount of information they would have if they went on the field trip. 3D printers range in price from a few $100s to more than $10,000 based on the detail and quality of what the printer is able to produce. But schools won't need to spend thousands of dollars for their 3D printers. The projects the students will be working on won't require that amount of detail. They'll mainly be using the 3D printers that can be purchased for a couple $100s. The US wasn't the first to think of introducing 3D printers into schools. Many countries have already decided to include 3D printers in their public school curriculum. In Japan, select schools will receive 3D printers by the end of the 2015 fiscal year, and the UK has already spent €500,000 in order to provide 3D printers to 60 schools. The big question everyone is asking is, why should schools invest in 3D printing? There are a plethora of reasons why schools should invest in this technology. For one, it adds an entirely new possibility for sculpting in art class. It can be used as a money-saving alternative to field trips. And finally, 3D printing lets students express their creativity and create solutions in a fun, interesting, and engaging way. Join a new generation of learning and create 3D join a new generation of learning and get 3D printing into your school today. Thanks for listening.